one time. You make me happy.
Love you, buddy.
Hey, you get off my cloud. All that negativity ain't gonna be bringing me down. Just keeping positive's a motto to the end. Hand out the window on the highway, riding the wind. Yep. Got scrappy in that old Kentucky playpen. When looking back now, I'm left wondering where them days went. Away went for sure, yeah, they spin. When they hates when I'm waving with that Honolulu hang 10. I'm just doing what I want. Mountains there to climb on. Sometimes you make it, sometimes you dive on. The prize must be what you keep your eyes on. A focused mind like I studied under masters up in Taiwan. Let that truth hit you. Tunes get jujitsu. Don't bitch, dude. You lace them up if that shoe fits you. We with you. Man, sometimes you gotta fix you. But no excuses, no din-dos. Man, just lay back and turn it up. Ray, word 'em up. Working on his farmer's tan underneath the burning sun. We gonna ride this cover wagon till its last wheel. Gotta love it when the music sounds just like the grass feels. Hey, you get off my cloud. All that negativity ain't gonna be bringing me down. Just keeping positive's a motto to the end. Hand out the window on the highway, riding the wind. Hey, you get off my cloud. All that negativity ain't gonna be bringing me down. Just keeping positive's a motto to the end. Hand out the window on the highway, riding the wind. Hey yo, Ray. Hey yo, Ray. Hey yo, Ray. Hey yo, Ray. Hey yo, Ray.
Day 29, day 29. We're almost there. All right. Look at all these beauties over here. Look at all these beauties that we're getting ready to throw out there into the world. That's what we're doing. We got Marge here with us today. Let's go. How y'all doing? We gotta get to it today. I gotta get on it. Today's Black Friday, and I gotta get out there and get all them sales. I didn't have time to go fumble around looking for the perfect place to paint and all that. I gotta get on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta get out there, elbow motherfuckers out of the way at Costco to get my other monitor, some other stuff like that, so we can make this streaming thing really come alive. Now, I'm really excited about the streaming thing. It's pretty fun. I'm having a good time doing it. I'm gonna get more people on. You know, we were gonna have Julie on tonight, but she's out of commission for medical reasons, so we're gonna have her back on some other time. But tonight, at 3 o'clock, well, later this afternoon, we're gonna have CK and James on, and they're gonna have an old-fashioned shootout at the OK Corral. That's what we're gonna do today. 3 p.m., that's a live Be There, Be Square. Bro, we having a good time. Bring your alcohol and let's fucking go, okay? We're going to have a good time doing this kind of thing, all right? That's how we do it. So we're going to do that at 3. And then tomorrow, of course, I got my live. We're going to have a good time. We're going to, at 11 o'clock in the AM PST, we're going to have all the good old chit-chat. I got some good ideas. I've been listening to all kinds of different philosophies and podcasts and whatnot, and we'll talk a little bit about that. It'll be fun, okay? Then we'll have the boys on, and we'll get them on, and we'll talk about what the hell happened during Thanksgiving, and everybody have a good time and all that good stuff, and what else is going on. You know what I'm saying? We got to find out. We got to find out, you know? So we're going to do that. Then I got my dumped cooking going on Sunday. And then on Tuesday, we got Matthias Adolfsson, you know, the Swedish illustrator, currently in Paris. He's going to fly back to Sweden, and then we're going to get a little one-on-one discussion about his illustrations, which are fantastic and very reminiscent of the world building of Richard Scarry, you know, the classic traditional illustration master. Okay, I got some other people I'm trying to get on. I'm trying to woo them in there. I got some people who say, I don't speak English very good. Okay, so I got to come up with a good solution for that. I might have to give them the questions ahead of time and have them respond, and then I'll have, you know, some AI translate that bullshit or whatever. We got to trust the AI on that one, I guess. I don't know. I got to find somebody who speaks that dialect, but we got some really good artists out there. Not all of them speak English. Go figure. Who knew about that, right? Who knew? That's why I love art. You know, all it takes is a pencil and a piece of paper. You could do it in the poorest countries, the richest countries, it don't matter. And you can refine your own mind that way. It's not exclusive to the rich, even though they want to tell you that. You got to have the Adobe Photoshop, you got to have the Clip Studio Paint, you know, you can't do it unless you have the Procreate, you know, you got to have all the expensive this and that. No, you don't. You could become a master just right there in your house, okay? And that's something that my mentor, he taught me, Yim Malkoon, he taught me you can do it right in your house. You can just go right from your house. In fact, who was it? There was this, I'm trying to think of his name right off the top of my head right here, trying to reach back and pull it out there. There's a famous American watercolor painter, and I'm trying to think of it right now. And his father was a famous American illustrator. and his name was Andrew Wyeth. That's what his name was. And his father's name was I don't know, it's KC Wyeth, or I forget what it is. But Andrew Wyeth, he was a fantastic watercolor painter that was a master, and all he did was paint his ranch and his farm over there. You know, his father painted all kinds of stuff. Like, his father was an illustrator that painted some of the best scenes for Last of the Mohicans, when it was first made a book and then illustrated. I'll try to remember to do that. Let me see if I can't get myself a little pencil right here, make myself a little note right here. We got Andrew Wyeth and his father. And I got that right there. So I can go ahead and point some of those pieces of art up here on the screen so you guys can have it. Now, one of these days, I'm gonna break out some of these books, and we're gonna talk about some of these artists, okay? Because they're fantastic, and you need to get a little art education in the right way. Now, art education sounds like bullshit. I agree, it's bullshit, right? It's no fun, but that's because the school made it not fun. Okay, the school made it not fun. Let me ask you something. Are really nice looking titties fun? Hell yeah. Is a great looking ass fun? Hell yeah. Is a nice little line of cocaine fun? Sure is. Got a little shot of tequila? That's fun. We gonna go out and shoot pistols? Pistoleros? That's fun. That's what great art is. Great art is that. It's the depths of the human experience, those exciting components that you reach down. And, you know, even with Ilya Repin, you know, he has some very famous, he's a Russian, the peak in Russian Impressionist painter, and he did one of his paintings is the death of the Tsar's son, right when the Tsar had to kill his own son. And you see the grief as he's holding his son, as he stabs a knife in his back, and the grief's on his face as he stabs and kills his own son. That's the kind of shit we want to gobble up, man. You know, that's the drama, that's the excitement that we all want to be around. We all want to have that, right? That's the ultimate form of the human expression. Okay, so that's what art education really is. And so we want to look to these veins and find these people who are not only technically proficient, you know, and they're fantastic draftsmen, and but we also want to find them, the ones that are connected to the source and able to convey what it is to be human, what the human experience is. And then we're also going to encounter some propagandists along the way. Okay, how about that? I'm gonna come across some people from the mystery schools. You know anything about that? I love the occult in art. Okay, you know, we're talking Alphonse Mucha, we're talking Salvador Dali, we're talking all of the modern artists. You know, that's what we're talking about, and how they express their signs and their symbols. And there's far more. There's a ton more, even more on the offbeat that we don't know about. But all the occultists, wow, they think they're incredible, and they have their artwork in their house, and we don't know them because we're, you know, what do they have? What do they call us? Not the plebs, but there's a word that starts with P that they call us. That means that we're dirty, uninitiated, and we don't know anything. And I tell you what, fuck you. That's what I gotta say about that. Fuck you. Okay. Let me roll up my motherfucking sleeves. You know, there was a saying that I heard that I really, really liked. Okay, and the saying goes as follows: God gives men all of his gifts for free. The devil's the one who charges you through a contract. Okay, the devil doesn't give any of these people their gifts, but he's the one that brokers the distribution deal where he gets 30 to 40%, and then the 360 deal where he gets 100% of your royalties for in perpetuity, where he doles out crumbs to you, but you're like, wow, I got $1 million, but he's making 10 million, 100 million. Okay, and then he lies and says, oh, well, I have to pay for this, I have to do this, you know, and it's a bunch of bullshit, okay? But, you know, it's a shortcut. It's a shortcut. You know, are you going to try to grab that bronze ring of fame? No, fuck that. We don't need that. We can be hard-ass motherfuckers. And it all goes back to what I was talking about. You know, you have your excitement is the knife. The excitement is how sharp your knife's edge is. The more excited you are, the sharper your edge is, the easier it is to slice through everything in life. Okay? Then you keep the critical eye on the hole, because that's who the devil uses to knock you down. All right, he gets inside of you, and he lies to you and makes you think that, you know, hey, that's my voice. No, that ain't your voice. It's got a mask of who you are in it, all right? And it's trying to knock you down. So you put that motherfucker in the little cabinet, lock the door, and then the schedules, how you make sure you build the railroad tracks to where you want to go, Okay, it's all right there. That's it. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. That's all you have to do. All right. Now, you do that, you're gonna end up happy. You're gonna end up where you want. Now, it might not be this fantastical fantasy that's cast out by the devil. Of course, I don't think there's a devil. Come on now. But for the sake of being, the devil's gonna paint this picture of this fantastical life that all you have to do is trade this little tiny insignificant thing. All you have to do. And I should tell you, the things of value cannot be bought. Okay? If you can buy it, it's not really valuable. You know, and that talks about the consumerism versus, you know, connecting to something greater within inside of yourself, right? The devil will pay you to turn off your ability to connect. He'll pay you. He'll give you your G-Wagon. You know, he'll give you your, whatever the fuck you think that you want, right? Because I tell you what, you get your G-Wagon, that's a Mercedes if you guys don't know. You get your G-Wagon, and before you know it, fuck the G-Wagon, right? You're driving it for a year and you're just like, oh, this thing, I don't know if I like this thing. You know, or you get your supercar, your Ferrari, or your Lamborghini, your Bugatti, or whatever. You're driving, oh, fuck this, I don't know if I like it. You know, it's a terrible experience. I remember I had a buddy once and he bought a really nice car, and he got the sports suspension package on it. And I was like, why'd you get the sports suspension package? It was like, you know, it was like $5 extra. He's like, oh, it's a sports package. It's got this suspension, it's tight, da da da. And I tell you what, from then on, for the rest of the time he had his car, and if I ever drove with him, you could feel every bump in the road when he drove. All right? You're feeling all of his bumps. And I was just like, man, you should have got the nice stuff where, you know, it's not the sports suspension. So, you know, you don't feel all this stuff. Oh, but I can corner. Okay, well, how many times are you going to corner in the life of your car? Like the first time you get it, you're going to go and do a donut, you're done, right? That's not, you know, believe, you got to understand what you really need in life and what really will make you happy. Don't just assume that because people put the price point way up here on all this shit over here, that must be good because it's really expensive. That's not how it works. You have to instead look inside and see what you're excited about. See what makes that excitement needle pop. Go after that. That's the secret of life right there. Make that excitement needle pop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. You know, make it bury itself in the red. Okay? And then go after those things. All right? Don't say, oh, well, you know, I have to do this first and that first and this first. And no, fuck that. Go after what makes you excited, and everything else is going to take care of itself. Sure, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be. You think me going out here painting landscapes? You think everybody's banging down my door to get landscapes? No, they're not. Because landscapes don't excite people. You got to have a refined mind to be able to appreciate a landscape. Same thing, you have to have a refined mind to appreciate a symphony or an opera. But you know what? You got that, you know, the ghetto blasted music or whatever you want to call it. Boop, 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 boop. And everybody can go out there and do this. And get, oh, this is great. He rhymed 2 words together. Oh, that's great. His pants are down around his knees. Oh, he's really trendy. Oh, he's got a big chain. He must be important. That ain't it. That ain't it, people. And that's burnout. That's why you see these people cycle through so much, right? The proof's in the pudding, right? As you grow, your mastership and what you control should increase, which should only you know, establish your reign, so to speak, for a longer period of time. The greater the mastery, the longer the reign. It shouldn't be all this, okay, we're gonna switch it up, and you didn't know, but you know, sagging your pants was in this year. Now you got to have your pants on backwards and your nipples popping out this year. That's what's going on this year. And it don't work like that. It don't work like that. That's bullshit. All right. So you don't want to be like that. Okay. You want to pursue what gives you excitement, and then through that, your genuine desire will be fostered. You'll gain mastery, and then the whole world of wisdom will open up to you, and you'll find out it's a huge world, and you can go anywhere you want to. You can control your own destiny where you go, and then it'll be such a relief to you. Okay. And it'll be exciting because that's what you want, all right? You're not going to be, you know, looking after this, you know, fake saccharine stuff. You know, that's not even real. You're going to be fulfilled and happy like you just ate a big turkey dinner. Speaking of turkey dinners, how'd everybody do? Everybody have a good turkey dinner? We had that Thanksgiving yesterday. I went ahead and made them fantastic pizzas. That's what I had. I was so stoked about that. Had a good old pumpkin pie, fantastic with the whipped cream. And I had myself maybe a 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 shots of tequila, okay? But as you can see, I'm up bright and early today, getting ready to go out there and fight with all them weirdos with the Black Friday sales and all that kind of stuff. And hell, I'll probably get out there too late and all the good stuff already be picked over. And pick over. So, we'll see how that goes. You know what I mean? We'll see how that goes. But, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into it here in a second. We're going to get this cacti going. As you can see, I got all my paintings jumping up. Look at them all jumping up. They all want to go somewhere. All these bad boys getting ready to be mailed out, okay? Now, if you want one, make sure you let me know via DM or something so I can put you at the top of the list. If you don't, I'm just going to send them out all random like, okay? So who knows who's going to get what, but it'll be fun. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, I got a whole new 30-day challenge coming up on Monday. It's going to be day 0. If you remember our day 0s, we just talk shit about what the hell we're going to do, okay? Now, this whole next 30-day challenge is going to be based upon fashion. It's going to be based upon fashion drawing. It's going to be based upon execution of drapery and all of that it entails, stylized female bodies and whatnot. And we're going to look to other sources for inspiration. For example, one of my favorites is the show is okay. The Fabulous Miss Maisel. That show was okay. But I absolutely 100% loved every piece of fashion in that show. Okay, and it just popped off the page, and it was basically, you know, I was looking for some books about it that I was going to try and purchase and use, but I can't find no books about, you know, just the fashion drawings. So I thought, why don't we go ahead and do that? Now, it don't all have to be that kind of, you know, Miss Maisel. You can come along for the ride and do that, or you can do different types of fashion. But believe it or not, every time you draw somebody, it's a fashion drawing. Everybody's wearing something unless they're naked. If they're naked, it's a fine art drawing, okay? We can do some naked drawings. I ain't got no problem with that. I've been doing naked drawings forever, man. 20-something years I've been drawing naked people. We got, like I said, you got good naked, you got bad naked, all right? Now we can do the idealized version, you know, and I'll show you how to do a little mannequin and all that. And we'll look at some other fashion designers, and it'll be a lot of fun. And then, you know, we'll have a good time with that. I'll probably use some markers, and that's probably how I'm going to go, how I'm going to do it. You can use it whatever you want to do coloring. But I love markers. I love markers for fashion. I love it for industrial design. I love it for cars. And, you know, there might be a machine 30-day challenge here coming up, too. And somebody else have requested animals. We might do that, too. But this next 30-day challenge, we're going to do fashion drawings, okay? So, you know, we're going to a little bit skewed off the beaten path. What I want you to understand is everything's a process, right? Just because you draw fashion drawings don't mean you're gay, don't mean you're straight, don't mean anything, okay? Same way if I drew me some motorcycle drawings, it don't mean anything, okay? Same thing if I drew architectural drawings, it don't mean anything. We are basically consuming the visual world through our eyes and reproducing that, how we interpret it, onto our paper. The subject matter doesn't matter. The subject material doesn't matter. That sounds better. I don't like to use the same word in the same sentence more than once. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. So get your sketchbook ready. If you got some friends that are into that kind of thing, tell them, hey, y'all better come on and do this. It's off the beaten path, I know. But it's a huge part of our world, right? Fashion is everywhere. Okay? Fashion, everything you touch has been designed by an artist. Okay? So it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Borderline on trillion perhaps, who knows. Anyway, we're going to jump down here to camera 2. We're going to get going. A little bit better angle so I can, you know, put that boop, boop, down here. All right, now I got my little spritzer out. We're going to go ahead and spray this, wake this bad boy up. He been chilling. Now don't forget, we're going to have that live at 3 today. That'll be a lot of fun. That's in maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I got to hurry up and get this bad boy put together. That's why I said it, people. I'm trying to remind myself, not you. You guys are fantastic. You guys are all on top of everything. You guys know it all. I know it all. All right. And so we're going to go ahead and get this. And so I picked this one because it's got of course it's cactus and it's got some pretty crazy colors. Okay, and I love me some crazy colors. Who doesn't love crazy colors? So let me go ahead and get my little thing going here. Let's go ahead and clean this tray up a little bit. We got the colors left over from yesterday, which are, you know, fantastic. We can use them. But I want to be sure first. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint these cactus real quick with this yellow. Okay, with this yellow and a little bit of turquoise in it, maybe a little Corellian blue a little bit. And we're just going to go ahead and paint these in here so we can protect them. Okay? I got a Big Daddy right here. And he's got a little thing sitting off right there like that. So we're just going to go ahead and put these in here so that we can paint around them. Now I know you could use that liquid frisket, but I hate using that stuff. I like to just go. You know what I mean? I just want to go. Just want to make cool stuff and go. You get what I'm saying? I want to make cool stuff, and this might make it a little harder, but it's all right. We're up for the challenge today after our little tequila bender that we had yesterday. Hey, maybe we'll have another one today. You never know. It is the holidays after all. It's that time of the year. That's why we get into the tequila, because we can recover pretty good. I'm just gonna try to arrange this. There we go. We got our 2 or 3 cacti. There we go. All right. Now let's come back here. Let's get ourselves some of this red. Let's get ourselves some of this. A little bit of blue. Make a little bit of a warm purple. And let's go have some fun with this. We're going to go. Okay. Might have to warm that up just a bit so we can have some more of that red in there. There we go. Because I'm putting this layer on first because we can always go back and cool it off. You know what I mean? I'm just looking for the shape right now, of the overall shape of the mountains. You can always adjust it. And I'm sure it's going to move and adjust as we put in the sky. Okay, so that's going to happen. And I picked this one because whoever took this picture did a pretty good job when they processed it. I liked it. So you can see already, it's already starting to be fun. Look at that, right? It's already starting to be fun. Let's go ahead. Now let's do some wet on wet on that shape, just to give it some variance. Come in here, get some of that Corellian blue. Now it's always better when you use sound effects. Remember, I think that's how God made the world. He used sound effects. I don't know if you can hear mine. Now I want to get some sound effects going for the lives. I think that'd be a lot of fun. You know what I mean? I want to get some people doing some sound effects. I remember when Fresh and Fit first did their sound effects, and everybody was like, "Ah, yeah, that Don DeMarco thing," but they're retarded. I wonder if I can get Ryan Harkness to make me some sound effects. That'd be pretty cool. I like that. That guy's awesome. Well, him and I are gonna have a conversation the weekend of the 6th to the 7th of December, so that'll be coming up pretty soon. All right, now we want to make a median layer. I'm looking at the background right there. That looks like a little bit of a brownish green. So I'm just thinking about this in terms of the large pieces, you know. So first I put in the cacti to protect them, so that the light will stay light. Then we did the big piece, one single shape for the mountains. Now I'm going to do one single shape for the middle ground. Okay. One simple shape for the middle ground, a little bit of brown green, and it's going to go like right here. And we just want to, what's that saying, just get it good and you can work on getting it perfect later. That's kind of what we're doing right here. Just kind of get it good, get the anchor point set in there. The anchor point usually means it's something by which I use to make a decision about other things, right? So I can use this as an anchor point to then compare for the other things, right? So that makes a little bit of sense, doesn't it? Can you see that all right? If I adjust it, maybe more like there, that's better. Okay, now I'm looking in the foreground, I see that nice patch of green grass. It's just just looking at me like, paint me really green. Okay, so we're just gonna put a whole bunch of yellow right here in the foreground. Okay, we're gonna have a lapse over right there like that. Maybe even run them over here like that. And then what you want to do is we're going to warm it up with some of this purple, orange, and blue. And just kind of lazily mix that together. And come in here and put that in. Have the larger spots pop through. The larger spot colors. Get a little bit darker. That's why you want to mix your palette in such a way that it's more like a fan. It's kind of like a fan. The colors fan out before you. And you don't mix it like thoroughly, because sometimes you want to pick bits and pieces of that fan out. And the cool thing about it is, because it's a fan, they already relate to each other. So you can see the cooler area, you can see the warmer values, and that's the way that you should be mixing. Okay, that's definitely. Oh, so you gotta protect that. Get off there. Get off there. That's the way you should be mixing. Don't try to mix like one color in one spot and then one color in the next spot and one color in the next spot. Mix a whole fan. See how I got that right there? A whole fan of colors. See that? Then you can pick out any color that you want. And it's so easy to mix it that way. And then each one of those colors, like I said, is related to the color next to it. You shouldn't try to mix like little piles of color, because that's retarded. Because then you're missing all the intermediate colors that are next to it. Okay? And you're making your life a ton harder. That's a little tip for you. Okay? You're making your life harder. We don't want a hard life. We want an intuitive life. And notice I didn't say easy, I said intuitive. We want an intuitive life. So we got this in the medium brown. It's okay to overlap, you know. That's gonna add, like I said, variance, right? Variation. Variation is the slice of the hint of life. It's beauty. You want to have that variance in there. Now I want to put some of this green, more of a harsher green. Get some of this green with maybe a little bit of orange, or maybe that candy and yellow. Try to lighten the green up, and we're just going to put some bushes back in here. Remember, we're not trying to actually paint bushes. Right? We're just trying to make patterns out of marks on the page. Okay? So you want to just go ahead and put in the shape, get it in good. We all trying to get it in good, ain't we? Mix the shape in there, and then come back and adjust it later. Okay? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to come back and adjust it later. Alright, now it's funny because we've done the sky last today. How about that? Alright, so we did the sky last. Now the thing about watercolors is deceptively complex. It looks so easy. Especially when somebody good does it. It looks so easy. I remember watching Yim. He would draw watercolor, he'd paint watercolor, he'd paint oils most of the time. And I'll be like, oh yeah bro, I can totally do that. I can totally do that. And then when it came time for me to go do it, of course I couldn't do it. I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? What's wrong? How come I can't do it? I'm watching him, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. Well, as he's doing it, he's making the choices, and they all seem obvious. Like, oh yeah, that's exactly how you paint those clouds. Duh. That's exactly what's going on there. But what he's not telling you, and what he can't tell you, what I can't tell you, is what I'm about to tell you in words. You're going to understand what I'm going to tell you, but you're not going to know what I'm telling you. The way that you juggle a ball is you throw one up in the air, and then while it's still in the air, you throw the other one up, and then you throw the third one up, and then you catch the first one, you juggle the second one, while the third one's up in the air. That's how you juggle. Now, if I tell you, go ahead and go juggle, can you do it? More than likely, if you hadn't already practiced and learned how to juggle, no, you can't do it. Okay? You can understand how to do it, you know, from a cognitive point of view, but you can't do it because the cognitive thing doesn't work. You have to do it from your body. You have to know how to do it in your body. Okay? That's quite a bit different than knowing how to do something. If I tell you, oh yeah, you just go over there and just build a brand new engine for that car. It's super easy. You know, it has pistons and it has you know, a radiator and it has you know, all kinds of good stuff in there. Just go ahead and put the stuff together correctly and it'll work. Okay, well that's a very complex process, you know. Yeah, a lot of trial and error. And in order to troubleshoot, it requires even more trial and error. Same thing with painting. Oh yeah, put the right color in the right area, you'll be fine. Put the right value in the right area, that'll be fine. They don't tell you that the different colors correspond to the different values. They don't tell you that. Or maybe they did tell you that and you just don't know what that means, you know. And there's a difference between knowing what something means and understanding what something means. And they don't tell you that. It's not that they don't tell it to you, it's just that you can't be told. You know, when you try to learn, you can't be told. You have to learn it yourself. You have to go out there and experiment. And then you have to understand what the words actually mean when they're talking about it. If that makes sense. Okay. Now we get some more of this aqua in here, because those are cool aqua shades, and I'm trying to protect everything. I'm trying to get this down to a value with the cool color scheme to really pop those. Those cactus out. Okay, so I think I'm about ready to start over with my second pass. That's my first pass right there. So in your first pass, you're just trying to establish the relative anchor points, the size, you know, the shape, the location, so the proportion, the location of the shapes, and then you want a general hue. You want to be in the ballpark for the hue and the saturation, you know. And then you want to have the basic values, you know. And in watercolors, the way you adjust values is you keep doing, you build washes, layers of washes on top of each other. So let's go ahead and get this nice deep blue. So we're going to come up here, we're going to add some detail to these mountains, and we're going to use a blue. It looks really nice. And remember, everything in the distance is going to be cooler than things that are up close. Okay, we got this. I'll make it really nice. I'm just using the same cobalt, a little bit of mixture of Corellian in there, just to get this going. Okay. We'll come in here and we'll make a little bit of adjustments. We'll add a little bit of red to this, and we'll come in here and have a purple. That purple's probably a little too dark. So we'll just add a little water to it, just to lighten up the wash. We'll come in here, lighten up the wash. And where it's light, we're going to come back in and we're going to blast some heavier red, some more saturated red. We can't leave it white like that, or else it'll look washed out. It can only exist if it's saturated. You get what I'm saying? So you'll see, right? I'm going to do it right now. We're going to come back in with some red. Get some of that rose red and some of that alizarin. Maybe mix a tad bit of orange into it. You come in here and put that in there. See what I'm talking about? The increase in saturation reduces the value. And that's something I can tell you. You can try to understand that, but until you practice it, it doesn't make any sense to you. You're like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Duh, I mean, everybody knows that. It's like, okay, we'll go out there and do it then. And you can't, you know, because you got to get that practice. Now, see how that fits in there? Now that looks perfect, right? It looks like it's in the distance. It looks like it's the right amount of washed out, the right amount of, you know, the right amount of abstraction and everything, soft lines, soft edges mixed with hard edges, and we can even come back later and add harder edges in. Now what that makes me want to do is that makes me want to do a little bit more to these clouds. We'll get a little more blue. We'll come in here and we'll just do a wash right over these clouds. What I'd love to do is put some right here to help pop this cactus out a little bit more. So that's what we're going to do. And we want to blue it up just a little bit more because we want that separation. So I'm just using a little bit of Corellian blue with that separation from the mountains. We can separate it through hue or through value. Okay, so we'll do a bit of both. The hue will be more blue, the value will be lighter. So we're attacking two variables at the same time. Okay. There we go. that might make some parts of that too bright in the clouds. We can come back with a little bit of yellow, mix that in with the purple, blue, and that'll warm it up just enough to separate it out. It might be a little too yellow, so we'll take a dry brush, come back in, and just blend it in, like so. That's why I love watercolor. Watercolor works with you. It's like you're a little assistant painter trying to help you paint down there. So now we got a little bit of that nice little yellow tone in the sky. And I am varying quite a bit from the original picture, but that's okay. I'm making it my picture. I'm figuring out what do I want to do? What do I want it to look like? What things am I going to edit in this picture that are going to make it even more dreamy than the actual photograph itself? And that's what I'm trying to do. Okay. So now we're going to go back into the mid. Remember, we got to make it cooler. That green's a little bit too warm. You got to make it cooler and desaturate it, which means add a complement color or a little bit of black. I'm not ready to do the black yet, so I'm just going to add the complement color. Complement colors, and of course an orange. Just going to make it nice and gonna take that saturation down quite a bit by making it a gray. And now what we're doing also is we're darkening the value, which is making it recede into the background and popping that foreground out closer to us. You can see that just come to life right there. You can see that happen. Now my goal is to keep these cactus light in value, but also increase their saturation. So we're going to use a yellow and a turquoise for that. But that remains to be seen. Now I want to add a little bit of shadow over here in their white spot right here. I'm going to cool this down a bit. I want to cool it down, but I want to leave the value lighter. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, sometimes to do that, you can just add the wash, let it wash over the other things, right? So that'll automatically put it in the right frame of mind. Okay, so that looks pretty good. All right, now what we want to do is we want to pop this green. You hear that? A Gouache sing and his wife. You guys heard about all that? We might have to talk about that tonight. When I said pop this green, I automatically thought of what she was saying when she was saying pop my pussy. I was popping my pussy with all these fraternity guys, and now she won't even kiss her husband in public. Ain't that some crazy shit? So I thought that was crazy. Yeah, if a bitch don't kiss you in public, drop her. Drop her ass real quick. Don't matter how hot she is. I'm sorry. You ain't kissing me in public, we ain't got nothing to talk about. You know what I mean, people? That's just the way it's got to be. That's just the way it's got to be. Okay. So we're looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Might want to start to darken up some of this stuff in the foreground. I'm gonna take a little bit of this turquoise and add some of the foreground. Now the cool thing is when we use the transparent wash, the new turquoise wash is going to take on the characteristics of the paint below it. So everywhere it's different, it's going to look different. Even though we're using the same color, you see how we're using the same color all over everything, but it's starting to look different. So that's a lot of fun. That's a neat little trick. Now when I first started painting watercolor, I painted them like oils. So I would mix every new color or for where I wanted it to paint, right? And that didn't work out too well. The reason it didn't work out too well is because all of those colors came together and formed a gray. So all my paintings look gray, and I hated that. That pissed me off so much. I remember I went to some galleries and they were like, "Oh, this is nice, but it's all gray. We like more colorful. Maybe you need to work a bit more on your painting." And I didn't understand that, and I thought, okay, well, I'll work more on my painting. We'll figure it out. We'll get this going. And then I finally understood that all you had to do was put the layers of the highly saturated pigment one on top of the other. It'll take care of itself, and it won't gray. It won't gray up. It'll just blend together right on top of the page, and that's with watercolor. So that's what you want to do. Now I'm looking at that mid section right there, this right here. I gotta cool that off some, but we're gonna vary it up a little bit. And so we're gonna mix it, and we're just, oh, that's a lot of red right there. Sometimes you do that. Sometimes you make that mistake. Maybe we'll just leave it in there. It's like Bob Ross said, happy little mistakes. In fact, maybe I like that. Maybe we'll come and bring some more of that red. There we go. Hey, that's pretty nice. And so right there, you know, you have a happy little experiment. It turns out in your favor. Okay. So we'll bring some of that red right there. All right, and that's the way you go with it. And you know, don't be afraid. You can wipe it away if you don't want it. You can wipe it away. We're gonna push this back even more. Leave a couple layers. Okay. All right, so we're looking pretty good. Now it's about the time that we want to go ahead and pop those cactus forward. So I'm going to grab some lemon yellow, some candium yellow, mix it a bit with a little bit of purple. Okay, now you're thinking, wow, that's really bright. And it is. I'm going to leave the edges lit like that because I can come back in later and use lemon yellow on top of it. Okay. But I'm getting this prepared because I know what we're going to do. We're going to put a little blue and turquoise over these. And that's going to change and shift the hue to green. That's what we're going to do. So we've protected these guys all this time for just this purpose. Okay? Just this purpose. Alright, so now we're running into a little bit of an error back here because now it's hard to see, hard to decipher what the hell's going on. So let's think about what kind of colors that we could put back there to make it really fun. Okay, to separate these out. And I think it's probably going to be a purple. Maybe a warmer purple. A little bit of green maybe. We're just going to come in here and needs to be warmer. Still needs to be warmer. We're just going to come in here and make these like a different push. Okay, see how that pushes them back in the background? Maybe add that push right there. And it also provides the red. It echoes the hue of the mountains in the foreground, so it kind of helps to pull the whole thing together. So that's a lot of fun. Okay, a lot of fun. Now we can still go for some darker darks, and so let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's go ahead and grab some of this alizarin crimson and maybe a little bit of this French ultramarine. Mix those together. Maybe throw a little bit of a green in there just to you know, desaturate a little bit, and we'll come in here and we'll just do some of these darker colors. Okay, so we got a lot of nice colors going on in the shadows. Okay, a lot of nice turquoises, and that's really what's going on in the desert. There's a lot of this kind of turquoise and all that stuff. And remember, it's going to dry a lot lighter than you think. Okay, so let's get this regular turquoise, and we're going to put it up here in this grass or whatever the hell this bush is looking like. Okay, this is just straight turquoise, people. Going in hardcore with the turquoise. Okay, we're just trying to make a little bit of a texture here, just to mimic a little bit. And what we want is a little brown, but a little bit of a muted brown. So I'm mixing that with the turquoise as well. Just gonna put it in here. There we go. That'll separate that right out. No big deal. We'll go ahead and put some horizontals in there. Add a little bit of layers, make it feel like it's layered. Remember, we're just trying to make the patterns. On a thumbnail, that's all you're trying to do, is you're trying to mimic the patterns. Once you understand that, going back in and adding detail to the patterns that already exist is no big deal. And so that's why you got to get the explosive component on the thumbnails first. After you can make your thumbnails explosive, then you're ready to go ahead and go forward and make your big paintings explosive. And that's really where it starts to be fun. You want to keep the same energy. It's difficult. It's not easy to keep the same energy in your thumbnails, because it's really easy to make your thumbnails high energy. It's real easy to do that compared to keeping that same amount of energy on a very big painting like a wall painting or a sofa painting. And the reason is because, you know, you're able to be loose with your wrist, but how are you going to be loose with your shoulder on such a huge painting? Then you have to step back and look at it and all that stuff. So it's quite a challenge, but it's a lot of fun. When you get it right and it does it, boy, that thing just... Edgar Payne was the master at that. So his landscapes were phenomenal, and they just danced. They just danced, bro. I'm telling you what. Go look at some Edgar Payne paintings. They are tremendous. Okay, so we got this going on. I might even come back in here and get some Corellian blue, make a little bit of purple, add a little green maybe to it, and then try to push this even further back. Okay. We're gonna cool these down, push them even further back. Just let the watercolor do the heavy lifting for us right here, as far as how it's gonna blend and saturate and make all those edges nice and fuzzy. So how nice does that look? We're already there. We're already there. But what else can we do to bring this thing to life and make it kick ass? Because if we're going to hang it in the gallery, we want everybody to come see our painting, right? We don't want people to say, oh, that's nice. You know, that's nice. No, we want people to say, that's the cocaine I want. I want that. I need that. So let's add a little bit of texture right here. Nice little, maybe some desert roses or cactus pears, you know, along the, these are the muted color. We're going to layer these in first, and we'll bang in some much heavier colors later. Much more saturated colors. And let's grab just some straight red, not the gay red, the straight red. Straight red. Remember, the more saturated, the darker the value. Keep that in mind. And don't put them everywhere. Give it a little variance. Let's put a little orange in with some of that red. The water mixture is not too heavy here. Now let's get some black. Add a little bit of to the purple. Desaturates it, drops the value. Let's add a couple verticals. Let it just do its thing, okay? It's gonna go into the water, let it do its thing. It's gonna diffuse out, let it do its thing. Warm it up a little bit, give us some different color. Here we grab a blue. Now this is all just icing on the cake right here. We're already done basically. Okay? We're already done. I'm just trying to install the texture, so that when your eye goes over it, it wants to go all kinds of places and wants to be satisfied. You know, you want to feed that eye like it's a ravenous fat bitch at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Okay, you want her coming back for more. Oh, I'm gonna get that banana Foster's. Oh, I can't wait to get me some of that good old pork roast over there. Oh, I'm gonna get some of that, you know, roast beef. Well, I don't know what I'm gonna get. You know, they're all excited about it. That's what you want. You want the women like that. A little bit of blue back there. So on and so forth. You can keep going. The question is, how do you know when you're done? Well, you know when you're done when you have the feeling of satisfaction. It's really a feeling that you're trying to get. Because you're trying to communicate something to people, right? You're trying to communicate something visually. You want them to have that emotion of satisfaction. That's what you want. That's what you're looking for. So let's put some shadows in here. These dark areas. In the shadow areas. Alright. Now we'll come back in. I'll get some of this living yellow. Just for fun. We're gonna get rid of this white right here. We're gonna make this pop. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop. Pop. Remember what I said, you gotta use them sound effects. Pop that pussy. Well, you can't be saying that. That sounds a little vulgar. Calm down, Ray Ray. Jesus Christ. Oh, you can't say that either. That's a little vulgar. Calm down. You get what I'm saying. Okay. Now what we want to do is add a little bit of purple turquoise on the vibe. Ah, that's about right. We're going to come in here and just darken up the tops. Catch a little bit more shadow. That's about it. It looks a little bit like a soft, fuzzy sunset in the desert. That's what we want it to look like. Okay? We want all this back here to be fuzzy. Fuzzy wuzzy. Okay? We'll add some darkness. We want it to be fuzzy. So there we go. I think we're about done right there. Check that out. Okay, how's that look? How's that look? Does that look alright? I gotta get this ready for the thumbnail. So I gotta get the, there we go. We're out there in the desert, right? Now don't be too hard on yourself, okay? Be kind to yourself, all right? The reason why I say that is because as an artist, you tend to get tunnel vision and look deep, deep, deep inside of your painting. But that's not how we see the world. We see the world when we look from a general perspective, when we look out at a landscape, and there's a lot of fuzziness in the landscape. So you might be sitting there painting your painting, you're zooming in and looking real close. You're looking real close and you're just like, oh, I need to get that more detailed. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay? What you actually need to do is squint your eyes. You squint your eyes at the painting and it removes the detail. Then you can see what's important and what's not important. Okay? Then you know how to organize things to be what's important and what's not important. All right? Now look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Doesn't that look good? Okay? And that's just watercolor. We're just having a good time with watercolor. Out in the, oh, I forgot. We got to get that music. A stripper. Stripper music. Cue the stripper music. All right, I got it. We got the stripper music on. The stripper artist. And, hey, one of these days we're going to get a couple strippers. We'll have them sit nude for us. We'll get a little painting going, all right? We'll have a good time with that. Okay, we're taking this, there we go. There you go. Okay, now ain't that gonna jump off the wall if you walk into a gallery and it's gonna say, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. And that's what you want. You want to pick me. You want to pick me for a painting. You want people to be excited about it. You want them to get home and say, I'll tell you what, I got this painting. There was a bidding war. Okay, there was a bidding war. There's about 10 people out there all throwing their money down, but I outbid every one of them because I'm Boss Hog, and that's how I do it. And then the wife says, well, how much you pay for it? You say, honey, it don't matter. This right here, this is an appreciating asset right here. It's only going to go up in price from now on. This is an investment for our future. It ain't like Bitcoin with Satoshi, who's going to have it all go to zero. This thing right here is always going to be worth something. It's only going to go up. And you're going to say, you know what? You know that Jerome Lelou fella? He painted gouache, and every single one of his paintings that are this exact same size right here. You know how much they're worth right now? $100,000 US. And it's just going up. Just going up. And then she's going to say, oh my God, Big Daddy, you're always taking care of me. You always deliver, Big Daddy. Let's go in the bedroom so you can deliver the wood. You know what I'm saying? So then she's all excited, and then everybody's a happy camper. You know, that's how it's supposed to be. But as an artist, it's our job to deliver to our audience. Okay? We ain't got to have to convince them. We ain't got to tell them no otherwise, but we just have to deliver. Not even using our words, just using what we're out there doing and what we're getting excited about. See, I was excited about these colors. I didn't do this painting so I could give it to you. I did the painting because I was excited to try to capture that bit of life and put it on here and see if I could do it. And if I could do it, then that's all that matters. I could go ahead and burn this thing right now because I got what I wanted out of it. The artist got it. But I'm not going to burn it, obviously. I'm going to give it away to somebody else so that they can have that satisfaction that every time they look at this puppy on their wall or wherever, they say, I wonder where that is. And their mind will float out and reach out with its tentacles in a fantasy and escape and run along this landscape and think about it. And for that time that they're escaping through this little portal right here, this little window, they'll be free. And that's the job of an artist. So that's what we did this 30-day challenge. We went out, we touched grass, we touched dirt. We tried not to touch the cacti because that's a pain in the ass. I've done that. That's a pain in the ass. And we try to remind ourselves that, you know, everything in this world is based upon the consequences and the laws of the natural world that we interact with. If we want to become better at anything, we have to observe those rules and understand how to use those rules in our favor and even how to bend them just a little bit so that we can get ahead and make something special. That's what it's all about. That's what getting out and touching grass is all about. So I hope you had a great 30 days. I hope you had a lot of fun touching grass. And I hope you continue to do it. I'm going to continue to do it. Next time I'm going to do it with oil paint. And I'm going to show you how it's really done. How I was taught by the master, Yin Mao Kun, the master of oil painting. I got a slew of his books. I hadn't even broached the subject of how much that man had done for me in my life. And I can't wait to talk to you all about it. And it's going to take a lot of videos to do it. But that's okay. It's what it's about. It's about communicating what's exciting to me with you. And that's how we build a relationship. So let's get out there. Let's build relationships. Let's touch grass and let's kick some ass. Come on now.